Hey everybody, this is Kirkensvak bringing you some existential sci-fi with No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky is an open-world survival game that takes place in space. You wake up with no idea of who you are, your equipment is broken, and you have to find a way to survive and prosper in alien environments. The great thing about open-world survival games is that you can make them whatever you'd like them to be. Sure, there's storylines you can follow if you'd like, but you're not boxed in. There are always alternative ways to do what you want to do. Want to be a pirate and attack cargo depots? You can do that. If you want to attack pirates, you can do that too. Explore underwater, build bases there. You're not limited just to space. You can build any place you want to. Say you find a paradise planet with mountains and lakes and great views. You can go ahead and build your main base there and do whatever you want on that space. Build living rooms, build kitchens, build dining rooms, decorate them however you want to decorate them. Hop into your mech armor and attack sentinels. Hey, want to build a floating low orbital hotel? You can do that. The point is, you can make this game whatever you want it to be. Have fun with it. Don't let yourself get boxed in by other people's rules and expectations for the game. Find what it is you like about the game and focus on that. I'll primarily be doing a walkthrough, but I'll also take some time to show glitches and shortcuts you can use to make the game fit your style of play. Hey look, a starship. You can use the glitches to minimize things in the game that you find boring or slow. Other people use the glitches to expand the game beyond the designer's expectations. Why you use them doesn't matter, so long as it keeps you engaged with the game and allows you to enjoy it. Just have fun with the game. And let's get started. Okay, we're going to start a fresh game, and we're going to do it on normal mode. So you also have the options of survival and permadeath. They just increase the amount of damage you take, and they also significantly reduce the amount of things you can carry in your pack. For me, this just gets to be frustrating after a while when you're trying to build things or do anything that requires you to constantly go back and empty out space in your backpack, especially in the early part of the game where you don't have many slots. But if you prefer that challenge, that's certainly a good way to go, and it definitely adds a level of difficulty to the game. So I'm on the PC, so I'll hold down the E button and it'll initialize the game and it'll start up the next scenario. You won't be able to do anything until the intro stops. When the game starts, you're going to have a broken multi-tool, which effectively is breaking your scanner so that you can't identify where things are. You won't know where your ship is, although you will be facing where your ship is located. And you'll need to take care of some things pretty quickly. It's not like other games where you kind of leisurely poke around. This one's going to have you up and running right out of the gate. But you do have enough time to get things taken care of, so there's no reason to panic. You'll notice as you watch the intro, there's a wide variety of plant and animal life. The game is procedural, so the animals and plants are different on every planet, although you do tend to see the same types of things over and over after a while. Alright, so the first thing I like to do is to fix my scanner. And you'll see over here, if you press tab and go to your multi-tool section, it'll show you with the exclamation point that it's broken, and it needs ferrite dust. Ferrite dust is just basically iron, and pretty much every rock in the game has it. So just start pointing your multi-tool at rocks and start shooting like crazy. And you'll see that little quick round, I got 26 pieces. So I'll do a few more, and that'll get me to the amount that I need to go ahead and fix the scanner. And you'll see in the bottom left corner, my hazard protection is dropping down. It's not a big deal, we've got plenty of time. So I'll go ahead and press tab, click on the broken piece, click on the material that's missing, it repairs the scanner. Then I can press C and it'll identify where sodium is located. So you'll see the yellow diamond there. And I'll run over there and grab the sodium, and I'll be able to charge up my hazard protection. Once I get the sodium, the first thing I'm going to want to do is find a cave. And this is pretty much universal in any video you watch. People tend to go to caves right away. And there's some good advantages to that. You know, the cave gives you a place where you can work without having to worry about the hazards. While you're in the cave, you'll have protection from the hazards. And you'll notice even though I've got the sodium, I've still got to put it in the hazard protection to have that advantage. So I'll go ahead and do that, and I can charge it back up. And now you can see I'm about halfway charged. And that's enough for me to get to where I need to go. And as you can see back behind me there is a cave. So we're going to run back to that cave. And then once we get inside the cave, there's a couple of things we can do. We can start mining cobalt. Cobalt is a good early game way to make some money and to get on your feet so that you can start buying upgrades and ships and improving your equipment. The other thing that the cave does is, since you're protected, you're not burning through your sodium and your other hazard protections. And there are also hazardous flora in here, like this one right here, that will allow you to collect sodium and oxygen. And especially in the early part of the game, you need a lot of sodium and oxygen. Oxygen is probably the most important element in the game because it allows you to do things, especially once you get the refiner. For instance, if you run out of carbon, you can mine or you can refine oxygen into carbon. I don't understand how that works chemically, but for the game, that's something that you can do. So I'm going to stay here. I'm going to mine some of this cobalt. I'm going to kill all these hazardous flora you see there in the background and use that to get my oxygen levels up and get my sodium levels up, and then get a little bit of money that I can use for once we get off the planet. For the first part of the game, all you're going to be doing is fixing your ship and getting ready to fly. I'm also grabbing this cave marrow. So the advantage of cave marrow is that you can stick it in a refiner and turn it into sodium. But one thing you do have to remember is that the multi-tool uses carbon to charge it. And so you need to grab some carbon any place you can. And by the way, the animals on the first planet won't hurt you. Future planets, they might, but currently you can just let them run by you. They're not going to hurt anything. You just enjoy them. So I'm going to grab this carbon, grab some ferrite dust as well while I'm here, and load up my multi-tool so that I don't run out. If you run out of carbon on your multi-tool and you don't have any way of replacing the carbon in the multi-tool, you can run up to a tree and hit it with the melee. On the computer or the PC, the Q is the melee button. So you hit that and basically you're going to punch the tree until you get enough carbon to recharge your multi-tool. So you see I managed to pick up about 76 cobalt and a handful of other things. I got to recharge my multi-tool. And you'll see that it takes 100 carbon to recharge a multi-tool. So I need to have quite a bit of carbon handy. So I'm going to go ahead and grab some more before heading back into the cave. But you notice too, I'm standing at the edge of the cave, so I'm not burning through any of my hazard protection. But I'm still able to shoot out into the greater world and get the things that I need. Gonna grab some more cave marrow. All right, now we're going to pick up some of these hazardous flora, build up our oxygen and our sodium. And you'll see over there by them, there's some convergence cubes, and those are ways to make some money, so we'll grab those once we kill all this hazardous flora. If you don't shoot the flora, it will hit you with toxic chemicals that will wipe you up pretty quickly, so you want to make sure you take care of them as you're walking through. All right, we're good to go. So, sorry, these are vortex cubes, not convergence cubes. But they, basically you can sell them for cash. You notice too, I've been picking up geodes. So eventually you'll expand those geodes and they'll turn into whatever underlying element they are. One of the tricks with the multi-tool is to let it get close to overheating. So you see how my numbers are getting to 100? Once it gets to 100, you feather the trigger. So you press for a second, and then when it gets full, you release for just a second to keep it from overheating, and then you start pressing again. And so you want to get your efficiency up as close to 100 as you can and just maintain it there. So you see now I'm up to 100, and I'm going to release briefly and then start shooting again, and then release briefly and then keep shooting again. And the idea is to keep those numbers up as high as possible to improve the efficiency. And I'm out of carbon. So I'll go ahead and clean up these geodes while we're here. You'll see these are adding cobalt. First one added ferrite. That one added ionized cobalt, which is worth twice as much as cobalt, which is great. All right, so I got bored mining stuff in the cave, and now we're heading towards the ship. The ship will be indicated right now. You can't see it, but you'll be able to see it at the top of the screen. That little symbol that you see in the bottom right corner there where it says exosuit initialization in progress. You just follow and head towards that symbol, and it will get you to your ship. So you'll see it's over on the left side of the screen. It's pointing down. That's the direction that I need to go to get to the ship. It hasn't told me that's the ship yet. It just told me that was a distress signal that I identified, but that's basically what we're doing. I'm just grabbing some carbon as we go. Jump over that cool little animal. All right. Just going to grab a little bit more. We made it down to the ship. You can see it over there at the bottom of this hollow here. You'll see my hazard protection is still about halfway. When I get in the ship, the hazard protection will go back up to full, so there's no point in using sodium right now. I might as well just go ahead and keep working. This living slime, there are times where that's useful. You can, you've got viscous fluids, something else, and living slime, and all of those will work their way down to becoming runaway mold, and then the runaway mold can be turned into nanites, which is what you use to upgrade your equipment. So eventually, when I've got more space in my backpack, I'll start saving that stuff. But right now, you're so short on space, I hate to use up the slot. And we're going to grab everything we can. For the big canisters, you need what's called an Atlas Pass. That's something you get a recipe for and you make later. So we can't open those yet, and we just live without them. All right, let's go check out the distress beacon and see what's going on. Fresh iteration generated. All right. That wasn't real helpful. Oh, there's another one of these machines that are broken. They look like the robots from Lost in Space 100 years ago. But you had to go into those and get rid of the fluids again. And then together. So we got nanites for that one. You need a lot of nanites, so grab nanites whenever you can get them. So we're going to jump on our ship. Once we get into the ship, it's going to start giving us instructions. Iteration number, a whole lot of people are playing this game. Atlas connection intermittent. Launch thrusters, they're broken. Pulse engine is broke too. So I'm stuck here. I don't know how I got here. I don't know where I was before this. But hey, the ship works, sort of, except for the broken parts. I ain't dead. All right, so the log's unavailable, so it's just going to make stuff up. Connect to the exosuit, and it always asks you to make choices, but the choices always lead to the same place. And so what we need to do is find a hermetic seal and do some metal plating. We know how to make metal plating. We don't know how to make a hermetic seal. So I can jump out of the ship in a second. So you see there's the recipe for metal plating. So I know how to do that. Go ahead and make it. And then repair that piece anyway. And I'll need dihydrogen jelly, which I can make from dihydrogen rather. And then I'll need pure ferrite, which you refine from regular ferrite. So we won't be able to do that until we can make a portable refiner. All right, so now I can jump out. And also jumping out of the ship saves the game for you. And now we've already made the metal platings, and now we need to repair the pulse engine. And when I jump back in the ship, it's going to prompt me to go do that. So I'm going to jump back in the ship. There we go. There's an iteration, lots of people playing the game. So vital ingredients missing, unable to synthesize. Basically, I don't know how to make a hermetic seal. So it's going to go ask around to see if anybody else knows how to make a hermetic seal. And then it's going to stick the location in the distress beacon. All right, so there it is. And you'll see it's got the little marker above it, so I know where to go. And go ahead and get in the distress beacon. And it's going to give me a chart. So I got to take the chart. Once I have the chart, I can go into my inventory and hold E down on it, and then that will make it show me where this thing is. So hold down E, and it goes out and looks. It's always a good idea to see what other things you see. Like there's a trading post there. So that's good to know because you just got a good picture of your surroundings. And sometimes you'll see stuff like crashed ships and other things you can take advantage of. And luckily, the place we're going is in direct line with that trading post. So that's awesome because we can stop there and pick up things we need on our way back. Big hole there. We don't want to fall in that. Very cool looking cave though. You'd run a lot in this game. And that was a bad jump. But so to use the rocket boost jump like this, that's the combination of your move forward, rocket boost, and then also your melee key, which on the PC again is Q. So on the PC it's QW space, and that makes me shoot forward like that. You burn a lot of oxygen in the process because it uses life support to do that, but it definitely makes it easier to get from one place to the other. The negative to it is that sometimes you overshoot your targets and then you land and take damage. But most of the time at this level, a normal level, it's just shield damage. It's no big deal. When you do it in permadeath or survival mode, you can actually get yourself killed. Like this, well, it would have hurt if I hadn't landed on that tree. But yeah, you get too high and you hit the ground, you take damage. Sometimes in survival mode, that can be fatal. Yeah, so you learn to feather that so you don't fall straight to the ground. You kind of got to pay attention to how much juice you got left in the rocket pack so that you don't just fall from a huge height. And you'll see a storm starting up. So this will happen every time you try to get close to this location. As soon as you get close, it'll start a storm. And again, it's just teaching you how to play the game. So since I'm in a storm and it's radioactive, my radiation protection is dropping very quickly. Now there's some buildings down there, and there always are. So there's always just 2 buildings down there, as well as other things that you might be able to use. So I'm going to go. I've still got enough soda or enough protection, so I'm going to go ahead and grab whatever's in this damaged machinery. And then this is just lucky. So these are buried technology modules. This one for some reason wasn't buried, so I can get to it. The rest of them I won't be able to get to till I have a terrain manipulator, which is what you use to dig holes. So until I can dig a hole, I can't grab them. But that one just happened to be sitting out where we can get it. And this room is empty. Usually these rooms at least have something in them, but this one doesn't have anything in it. It's the one next to us is the one that'll have the plans that we're looking for. So I'll run to that. And like everything else, when I get inside of here, my hazard protections start rising back up. All right, so 6 of 7 logs are corrupted. I guess the one we need is not corrupted. So I'm making this recording in case somebody can use it, because I'm not going to make it. All right, so recover the supplies, and it spits out the hermetic seal I'm looking for, as well as the blueprint. So whoever was here before left me this message and evidently couldn't figure out how to do it themselves. It was probably me. Oh, and when you see these guys, grab them, because those are nanites. So let's just hold down the E key, and there we go. And I'll get a bunch of nanites. All right, there's another machine I can go ahead and fix. Grab stuff out of. And now the storm is going to clear because we're done. So I've got my hermetic seal. I know how to make them now, so that I can make my own in the future. You usually use these things a lot, so you tend to make them quite a bit. All right, I'm gonna start heading back. Problem is, I don't know where my ship is. So the first time I played this game, I didn't know about fixing my visor so that I could go find things. I had no idea how to get back to my ship. I wandered around forever looking for the thing. So what you want to do is just go ahead and go into your multi-tool and install your visor, your analysis visor, and then your ship will show up on the visor, so you see it there. It's a little bit of ways away. So we can start heading that. Now we know what direction to travel. I can also find other things, like you see some buried technology modules, some Ps, copper deposits. I can't do anything with any of this stuff yet because I don't have a terrain manipulator. Until you get the terrain manipulator, you're kind of out of luck with a lot of these things. These little plants are pretty cool because they juice up your rocket pack. So I put that on and then hit my go button, and I can take off and get a lot farther in a single shot. So that's a lot of fun if you come across those. They don't last very long, so that's pretty much the end of it right there. But it does get you from point A to point B a lot faster. I should probably think about putting some stuff in life support. So life support does not automatically refill. You just constantly got to feed it. Go ahead and grab some units and identify some of these plants. So when we identify plants like this with the visor, it tells us what the secondary element is. Like that one has a secondary element of radon, which we don't have any use for at this point in the game. But so that way when you start, once you've identified something and then you harvest it with the multi-tool, you'll get both elements. You'll mostly get the primary element, and then you get a little bit of whatever the secondary element is. So that can be pretty helpful sometimes when you're trying to be as efficient as possible. You also get units, and you generally get more units for animals, like that one was worth 1,000 units, than you do for minerals and plants. Some really interesting plants might get you as many as 16,000 units, so those are kind of nice. All right, so we made our way back to the trading post. I'm going to go ahead and head up here. And like everything else, once I get into the trading post, even though it's an outdoor trading post, it will let me start regaining my hazard protection. So I don't have to worry about where I'm at right now, even though I'm turning green. But so I'm going to get up here, and once I get inside these, then I'm good. So this is a galactic trade terminal. This is a place where I can buy and sell things. So while we're here, I can look for stuff I need, and I can also sell off some of the excess that I've got. So I can start by selling stuff. Well, first let me grab some oxygen. I don't have any money. So, all right, so let's sell some stuff first. So I'm going to sell that cobalt we collected, sell the ionized cobalt. I'm not getting very good prices for a lot of this stuff, but I really don't care right there. I just need money. All right, you be careful I don't sell my hermetic seal. I sell my silver. So these were all just things I picked up while I was mining in the cave. There's those vortex cubes. I'm just going to go ahead and sell the marrow bulb because we're doing fine. We don't really need the sodium. All right, now I can buy that oxygen. And I'm going to pick up some ferrite dust, pick up some sodium. And I think that's all I need for now. All right, so there we go. I got a little bit of money, not a lot. If you ever want to see what's going on with these ships, just point your visor at it, hit your F key, and it will tell you that that's, for instance, a Class B ship. And we'll get into the ships a little bit later. Right now, it really doesn't matter because we don't have enough money to buy any of these ships. Plus, we're going to find ships and fix them. That's a lot more fun to get free ships and sell them and then buy better ships. All right, so we're going to get off of the trading post and head on up to the... See, there's where I took some damage falling. At a different level, that might have killed me. All right, so I'm going to go back through the caves, and I'm going to see how the ship is kind of on the other end of this cave. I'm going to see if I can get to the ship by going through this cave. So I'm going to work my way through the cave, getting cobalt and other things that I need along the way. And hopefully it'll come out over by my ship, and I'll be able to do a lot of work without having to worry about any of the hazard protections. All right, I made it out of the cave, and here's the little critter I wanted to take a picture of. So and here I am, and there's the ship. So I can come back out, go ahead and grab a little bit of ferrite dust while I'm here. Probably should have analyzed that first, so well. I'm not always the best at analyzing things. I just start shooting. I also don't necessarily want to pick up the secondary elements because, again, we have very few slots at this stage in the game in our backpack. And so like I'm going to pick up fungal mode here. I have no use for fungal mode right now. And this just means I got to go delete it when I'm done. I'm one of those people who can't stand to delete anything, so I end up with a backpack full of stuff I can't use. All right, so we made it. Well, we're gonna fix our ship. All right, well, let's put that hermetic seal to work. There we go. And let's see what we need to do now. So we're gonna have to fix the launch thrusters. This is gonna take pure ferrite and dihydrogen jelly. So dihydrogen jelly you make with the recipe or in the refiner with dihydrogen, which we've got. And then pure ferrite we've got to refine. So we've got to create the portable refiner. And I guess maybe if I pay attention to the signs, I can figure out what I need to do here. So I need a metal plating. Everything needs metal plating. So I'll go ahead and make a piece of metal plating. Go ahead and drop my portable refiner. And again, making pure ferrite and dihydrogen jelly. So, all right, we'll drop in some ferrite dust. We'll go ahead and use condensed carbon for fuel and start refining. And you'll see on the left that it's a 1-to-1, so 50 ferrite dust makes 50 pure ferrite. There's our 50 pure ferrite. We can put those back in our exosuit. And now we're going to go ahead and make dihydrogen jelly here. See how it's 30-to-1? If I use the recipe, I believe it's 40-to-1. So this uses a little bit less dihydrogen if we make dihydrogen jelly through the refiner. But it's going to take a minute, so I need to kill some time. And just going to check everything out, see if there's anything I need to do in here. Go ahead and repair that while I'm at it. We still got 42 seconds to go. So let's go ahead and do something while we're just waiting on this thing to spin. Let's shoot some rocks. Go ahead and analyze these. All right, well, those have sodium. I probably should have been getting the secondary element on those while I've been at it. Well, we'll go ahead and pick up secondary elements. You don't really get a lot from the secondary elements. It's just usually a handful. Like I got 6 on the last one. It won't let me shoot my ship. That's a good thing. All right, sounds like it quit. Just grab a couple more rocks. There we go. Let's grab that dihydrogen jelly. Grab our dihydrogen. Close this guy up. So when you hold the mouse scroll wheel down, it brings that portable refiner back into your inventory. And then whatever is being used as fuel gets returned as carbon. All right, we're all set. Systems are fixed. Ship is ready to fly. Well, this looks like a good place to stop. In upcoming episodes, we'll get out into space, find lava planets, and fight sentinels. If you enjoyed the episode, remember to like it, subscribe if you want to get notifications of upcoming episodes, and we'll see you on the next show.